So we'll go and jump right into it. The first question is, what is your name and what workshop will you be teaching this Summer Institute?
My name is Patricia Bauer, and I will be helping facilitate the chemistry curriculum writing workshop this summer on July 18th and 19th.
Great. Now, why do you think this workshop is important for teachers to take?
I think this workshop is very important for teachers to take because in the midst of a school year, it's very difficult to look ahead, modify, adjust while you're in the midst of things. It's, I think, an opportunity for someone to sit down, either your department or you as an individual teacher, and think through, what is my philosophy? How do I want to present my material? How do I want to engage students? How do I want to make it meaningful to them? Do I want to take an approach that is macro to micro? Do I want to start with the atom and move to macroscopic properties? Do I want to have a theme-based unit where I pick a pertinent occurrence from the current day news and try to attract students' attention and engage them by making it meaningful to them because this is something they've heard or seen most recently? Do I want to take a more historical approach? Do I want to embed things that aren't typically covered until the end of the year, like sometimes gas laws or acids and bases or redox? Do I want to embed that earlier and lay the groundwork for the upcoming unit? I think this is very difficult to do without having time to sit, to exchange ideas with other people, and to have an uninterrupted period where I can follow, or you can follow, your train of thought through essentially the entire year.
No, those are some really great points you bring up. That brings me to my next question. How do you think the content in your workshop is going to help teachers with their skills in the classroom?
I think this workshop will be helpful in engaging students because you as the teacher will be able to think about the past year or past years you've been teaching and think about how you might want to modify things in order to engage students better. You may want to exchange ideas with other teachers about how to differentiate your worksheets to meet the needs of different students. You may want to troubleshoot opportunities or figure out how to offer students more hands-on experience in your particular situation. So exchanging ideas with other teachers, both new and experienced, is a great opportunity to think of new ways of engaging your students.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's always to always kind of reflect on the past year and to think of what worked for you in that past year. Obviously, you can take that with you into the next year, but also think about what didn't work and how maybe you can go ahead and fine tune that for the following year. All attempts to engage scholars, because scholars will do their best when they're actually engaged with the content, when they're actually putting their heart and mind into it. I know for myself, when it was a lecture or anything, I would see myself disassociating from the content itself. I see myself daydreaming, and I learned best in the classes where I was actively interested, or my interest was just every time the teacher spoke, there was something new and it was engaging and all of that sorts. So I do think that is one of the most key things that any teacher should try to have as a part of their class. So that's a really great point you bring up. So that actually brings me to my next question. What do you think is going to be the most engaging part of your workshop, and can you explain how?
I think the most engaging part of the workshop will primarily be talking to and exchanging ideas with other teachers. Just as I believe in the classroom, students learn well from each other. We as teachers can learn from each other. And it's not a how seasoned you are or how much experience you've had, everybody brings something really valuable to the table. And I think it's that exchange of ideas. I think it's the exchange of resources, of thinking about things a different way. I think that's one of the most positive things that would come out of this experience.
That's great. And that brings me to my final question is, what takeaways do you want your participants to have after attending the workshop?
After attending this workshop, I hope not only will each teacher have a general sketch of their plan for the entire year, but I would love if each teacher start in the fall with a cohesive, coherent unit or two already completely designed. In other words, have you identified your objectives? Do you have an idea of what assessments you're going to have to help measure the achievement of the objectives? And I'm hoping that during this session that people will be able to actually develop those documents. I hope that my goal would be to have at least one interesting activity, demonstration, quick video to engage students, to catch them the minute you start the class, whether it's some kind of an anomaly or it's just something that's really interesting, an example of their everyday life. But I'm hoping that each person will leave with at least their beginning of the year unit completely intact. I think it's not great to develop super detailed units without going through the first couple of units, but once you lay the groundwork for how you want to structure each unit, you can then duplicate it more efficiently throughout the school year. I also hope that at the end of this, that people will be able to check in, maybe let's say once a month or twice a month, and continue the conversation, continue supporting each other. I think that's another big takeaway, is a community of chemistry teachers helping each other. And it doesn't have to just be chemistry. It can be physical science teachers teaching chemistry as part of their physical science course.
Great. Thank you so much.